Wiener, 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 one wiener next to another wiener, 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 wiener. Alright, I'm not gonna do that the whole thing. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a review. But it probably would be entertaining to see me sing out the whole South Park Wiener Game of Thrones song, but I'm not going to do that. But what I'm going to do is review the first episode of Season 5 of Game of Thrones. Probably the biggest show on TV in recent memory. I mean, there was Breaking Bad, but Game of Thrones is still going on. So Game of Thrones is now the biggest show on TV. It begins with probably the longest recap to any season premiere I've ever seen. But it was all worth it to see Joffrey die once again. Oh man, I can't get enough of that. It's so satisfying. So basically, if you forgot what happened in the last season, Joffrey was poisoned, died, thank the Lord, but Tyrion is accused of it. Tyrion is sent to death by his father Tyrion, but his brother Jaime busts him out of jail. Tyrion kills Tyrion with a crossbow while Tyrion's sitting on the toilet taking a shit, and basically he runs away. And now we're caught up here where we have Tyrion in a far-off land with one of the servants of King's Landing. I almost said Thieves' Landing because I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption. Both of them are considered fugitives. Tyrion for obviously supposedly killing Joffrey and killing Tyrion. And then the other guy for helping Tyrion escape. So they both decide, hey, you know what? We need to go find the next ruler of the Iron Throne. We need to go to the true leader, and that would be the Mother of Dragons herself, Daenerys, who's still ruling that kingdom, trying to set an example for the people. But this causes issue because one of her soldiers is killed while he's having Hor basically cuddle him. And there's some trouble going on where if she shows any sign of weakness in her power, her enemies will attack her, and then things just go to shit. So she checks up on her dragons, which, if you remember in the last season, she locked away, at least 2 of them. I actually don't remember what happened to the third, but basically she locked 2 of the dragons away, and they have grown large. They're basically the size of King Kong. They're bigger, but not as giant as we've been told that dragons get to be in this universe. But obviously her dragons still need taming. It'll be interesting to see where exactly this goes, because after Joffrey died, there are only 2 elements in this series that I really care about now. One is Daenerys, and then the other is Tyrion, obviously. So what else is going on besides with those 2 characters? Well, the beginning of this episode opens with a young Cersei who visits a fortune teller with a friend to, basically tell her the future. And she says, oh, you're going to be married to the king. You're going to have 3 kids. All of them are going to die. And then we cut to the present where they're mourning the loss of Tyrion. And that actually is an interesting flashback because it kind of explains how Cersei is just this stuck-up, strict bitch. Sorry, that's what she is. Because in the flashback, she was a lot more rebellious. She was basically kind of, if you took the ladiness of Sansa with just a tomboy attitude. And then another interesting thing worth noting is with Jon Snow. He's teaching the soldiers how to fight more after their big battle in Season 4, Episode 9, which was amazing, I gotta say. And it's just pretty much training. They've captured the leader of that tribe that they were fighting that had taken Jon Snow captive in Season 2. And basically Jon Snow says, look, if you bow to us, you'll live. You have to serve us, but you will not die. And the leader obviously refuses, and it's like, all right, you know what? You gotta burn. So he burns, dies, and that's actually pretty much all the things worth noting in this episode. I thought it was a decent episode. I'll say that. I don't think it's one of the better season premieres in terms of Game of Thrones. And as I mentioned before, now that Joffrey's dead, there aren't that many things that are just really going to hook me in. But hey, I'm curious where this goes. If there's going to be a point where Tyrion and Daenerys have to meet, then I really want to see where that goes, because those two are my favorite characters in the show and the ones that I'm rooting for. Because I just say the world of Game of Thrones, it's just like a shitty place to go to. Like all the fictional places in film or television you want to go, it's like you got the Star Wars universe, definitely want to be there. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, yeah, totally. Star Trek, yeah. Game of Thrones and Hunger Games, fuck no. Why would I ever want to be in those worlds? Chances are you're going to die if you're in those worlds. But again, I'm curious where this show goes. I'm sorry if this review isn't very vague, because I'm not really into Game of Thrones as many other people are. In fact, this is one of those shows where it's like, I need my phone out when I'm watching it to just get a chart of all the characters' names, because sometimes it's just like, wait a minute, what's your name? Who's his relationship with her? Why does she hate her, him, whatever? So it can get awfully confusing for the characters that aren't the Lannisters, the Starks, or Daenerys. I mean, that's my description. I'm interested to see where this season goes. I've heard that it's not going to be all that interesting, or at least in terms of the books. But hey, we'll see what happens. What works in a book doesn't necessarily translate to film or television, so they might make some changes. But whatever the case, I'm looking forward to it. And that's my review for the first episode of Season 5 of Game of Thrones, The Wars to Come. So leave a comment and tell me what you thought of the show. So leave a comment and tell me what you thought of this episode if you've seen it. Like, subscribe, go check out my video blog channel. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, go like me on Facebook. This is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one. Tune in next Monday for my review of episode 2.